everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys today? I am here with you today and super excited because if you guys watch my channel at all, I love 3D projects. Oh my gosh, how much do I love them? And I just have to tell you that if you do not have this adorable die set that makes the most cutest purse or tote bag ever, I don't know what you're waiting for. Let me get my little dimensions off the back. I do write that on my projects when I make them so that I can recreate them easily. It's just a tip for you. If you make a project and then you think you're going to make it later, if you write all the dimensions down and it's attached to your, the copy that you keep, oh my gosh, then it's so much simpler. So definitely that's a tip for you. But we are using the Daisy Garden this whole week for projects. And it's a background stamp, but I wanted to show you that you do not have to use it like a background stamp. You can use it as your main focal on all of your projects. So check out my other 3 videos, and I will have another one tomorrow. But check out all 5 videos that I have on this Daisy Garden. It's an amazing background stamp that could be used for so many projects. But this bag, how cute is this? You can put little treats inside and just make it so fun for people. So let's go ahead and get started. I did want to tell you we're using the Daisy Garden, happy and heartfelt for the words, for the thank you. And we are also using this beautiful die set. It is all dressed up dies and it makes this cute purse. So I'm going to show you how to go about the process. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I have chosen to do is stamp my background completely onto a piece of basic white. And you can see here that these flowers came out of this little section. And I've colored them with our Balmy Blue, light and dark. I did dark around the center of the flower, and then I worked my way to light. Did the same thing with my Daffodil Light. I used the light first, then I darkened on the edge. And then for the leaves, I used Mint Macaron light and dark, and I did the veining on the leaf in the dark, and I colored the leaves in with the light. So those are the 3 colors that I used. I then fussy cut around them, and I cut some extra flowers so that I could lift them up off of my card. So that is what you need to do. You need to stamp down your card. I used the basic, the Tuxedo Black Memento. I stamped it onto a piece of 5.5 by 4.25 inch basic white cardstock, and then I colored with my Stampin' Blends. Once I colored, I went ahead and fussy cut around, and I'm gonna fussy cut this one for you. Usually when I fussy cut, I cut right and leave a border all the way around, but for this one, I really wanted it to be right on the edge. So I'm actually going to cut and make sure, I have to get in a little tighter there. I didn't get quite as tight as I needed. And we're gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna move the bag. Hopefully you can still see it there in the corner. And I'm gonna let all these small little pieces drop because I'm just gonna follow the black outline that the artist gave me for this flower and work my way around all of the little petals. We're almost halfway. I like to get rid of that excess when I'm working on a really tight cut like I'm doing with this petal, because they tend to get in the way of my scissors, and then I feel like I can't get in as tight into all these intricate spots of these petals. So I'm gonna work my way around. Now, a tip for you is if you end up cutting the black line off by accident, you can use your black Stampin' Write marker and run it along the edge, and it will add your black outline again. So just run it along the edge of your cardstock, and it'll give that illusion like you never cut away that black piece. So definitely try that if you ever cut too close when you're cutting directly on the line, because it is possible, you know, to do, because you're trying to make these really close cuts. So we're almost to the end. I'm almost back to the beginning. I did the hard petals first, and then these smaller ones at the bottom are not so hard. So this one's a deep petal, and then we're going to get to these little shallow ones, which is what I mean, but they're not as hard because you're basically just going along these little bumps with your scissor. You don't have to dip in as deep. Now I have 2 left. So we'll come here, and then I'll just make sure that I got all the white off on these little bumps that I did here. And I love these paper snips because you can get into the tightest little spots with them. All right, so there is that fussy cut flower. I have already fussy cut this one, this one, and this one. So let me show you how to make your little purse. So I'm going to move our flowers to the side here. All right, and here is the die. So when you cut with your die set, this main die right here cuts this large piece, and you need 2 of those to make your purse. This is the front and the side, and then you need one for the back and the side. So you're going to use 2 of them. The pieces of the Balmy Blue, I cut 5.5 by 4 3/4. I cut 2 of those pieces, and then I laid them on my die cut machine, and I cut this large die piece out. This right here are the buckles, and I used basic black, and I used a piece of basic black that was 1 inch by 2 inch, and I just cut these 2 buckles. I only needed 2. If you want 4, if you want some on the back of your handle, you can also put some there. I just wanted them on the front, so I only needed 2, but there are my buckles. And then these are my handles, and this is this long die right here. So I used a piece that was 1 1/4 inches by 6 1/4 inches, and then I die cut the handle twice onto that piece, and so I have 2 handles. So you need 2 handles, 2 buckles, and 2 back pieces from your die. Now this die is on clearance. It's the 2nd of May is the last day to get it, and it's on clearance for half price. So definitely grab it because it's amazing. Think of all the cute projects you can make with this cute purse die. All right, so I'm going to show you, once I've die cut it, what I do next. I'm going to move the handles right now to the side and the buckles. I don't need those right now. We're going to work on 1 piece at a time, and we are going to use the score marks that the die gives us, and we're just going to press along them and make sure that we have a nice crease. Now this corner, as you can see here, is a triangle piece. So what you want to do is you just want to put your nail and dip like that and dip like that. And then this piece is straight, so you're going to put that down. So once you have a basic outline, we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So we're going to make sure we fold along all the score marks. And again, remember, when you get to this little triangle part, just stick your fingers in there. We're going to do this one. So there is the front and the back. Now we're going to put adhesive here, and we're going to attach that like this. Then that will form one large piece that we will use to make our bag. So I'm going to grab my silicone mat, I'm going to grab my wet glue, and I'm going to run a line of wet glue down that side. Now this is very strong glue, so you don't need very much. And I'm just going to line up my purse piece to match the score mark. I'm going to hold that in place, and then I'm going to make sure my score mark still works, and it is. And I'm just going to hold that until it adheres nice and tight, just like that. Okay, so there is that piece. I'm going to do the same thing on this strip. I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to run a line of adhesive down that strip there. I'm going to bring this piece this time. I'm going to stick my finger in through the bottom. I'm going to line this piece up. And I'm going to make sure that my purse top, this top section is equal to the top, and this bottom section is equal to the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and press the centers and hold that into place until it grabs. I like to use the wet glue because there's some wiggle room there, and you can add that. So there is my purse. Now, the sides of the purse can go in or out. I chose to have them go out to make it look more like a tote bag. If you want it to look like a backpack, you can put them in, okay? I want mine to look more like a tote, so I'm gonna put mine out. Now we're gonna glue the bottom. I'm gonna turn these two small tabs in, and I'm gonna put one over the top of the other. So I'm gonna figure out if this is gonna be the front of my purse, then this is the one that's last. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some adhesive on this bottom section. And then I'm going to hold this together, press it in place, and push this down. And I'm just gonna hold on until it grabs. Gonna make sure my sides are straight, that my front flap is straight. And then I'm gonna push it down. I'm gonna grab my bone folder, and I'm gonna press the bottom of my box back and forth until that adhesive has really grabbed. Now this is the front of my tote because it rolls straight back. The seam is the back. So this is the front of my tote. I'm gonna punch a hole right here because I wanna glue this, not glue it, I wanna tie it closed. So I'm just gonna use a handheld 1/8 of an inch circle punch. I'm gonna make sure that my pieces are even. And then I'm just gonna punch it right here in the center, just one hole, okay, through both thickness. Now I can go ahead and let that up, get that punch out of the way. We're gonna glue our handles on. So before I glue, well, I'm gonna go ahead and glue this first. I'm just gonna put a little bit of adhesive on the front section here of that handle, just a little bit, and I'm gonna glue it behind right there along this section. I'm going to make sure that the side is bent so that I know that my handle is straight. Okay, so I'm going to slide these buckles on. So I'm going to weave over and over, like so that it's like this. I'm going to slide this one in place. I'm going to do the other one as well. So I'm going to go in and over that middle one and slide both of them on. And now I'm going to put adhesive on this end. I'm going to curve my handle, and I'm going to put it behind this piece, and I'm going to make sure that my side still bends. And I'm just going to put my fingers there, hold on to it for a second, let that adhesive really grab. Once it has grabbed, I'm going to slide my buckle over to this side and press it into place, just like that. So there's the front of my purse. Now we're going to do the back handle. We're going to do the same thing, only this time I'm going to curve it before I put it on. I'm just going to run my bone folder and see how it gives it a nice little curl. So I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on this corner like I did on there. I'm going to flip this around to the other side, and I'm going to put one handle here, just like that, and one handle here. So I need to put adhesive on this other end, just like I did on the front. The only difference is that this one doesn't have any buckles. And I didn't hold that one long enough, it looks like, because it came undone. So let me go ahead and put it in place and hold them together. And make sure that my sides close, they do. All right, I think we're good now. This has gripped nicely. Okay. I'm just gonna hold it for a second longer, make sure it's nice and adhered. So there is my purse. Very simple with that die, isn't it? Now we're going to attach our flower piece onto the front. And you can see that's why I punched the hole. I didn't want it to hinder the hole, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it to the side. So I'm gonna flip this over. I'm gonna put some adhesive on the flower pieces and especially on the stems. I want those to grab really well. And I want to make sure I'm not actually squeezing any more glue. I'm just kind of pushing it into these little jagged pieces here of my flower and my leaf. I don't really want any more glue because there's plenty, but I just want to push it along those pieces and make sure that all of this flower adheres down. Okay, so now I'm going to use my tweezers. I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to grab. And remember, we don't want the flower to cover, but I want my two stem pieces to be off, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and push this into place. I'm going to stick my hand on the inside of my purse and make sure that I have a spot to press down. Now, I have the little stems sticking off the bottom, which is what I want. I want to cut them straight across so that they fit nicely onto my tote bag. So I'm just going to use my straight edge here and snip those straight off, right along even with the bottom, and discard these two little extra pieces. All right, so our flower is looking pretty cool. What do you guys think so far? So this one is going to get attached on the top here of this flower. So I'm going to use a dimensional. I'm just going to put one. And then this flower is going to get attached over the top of this one. Okay, but I want my thank you piece to come out from the side. So let me cover my glue, move my tweezer and my bone folder out of the camera, and let's go ahead and stamp the word thank you. We're going to use our Memento Black. I'm going to ink my thank you stamp. I'm going to put it on a piece of So Saffron, kind of right in the middle there. And this piece of So Saffron is 3/4 of an inch by 2.5 inches. And there is my thank you. I'm going to cover that. And I am going to clean my stamp. I love these fonts that are in this Happy and Heartfelt. It's in our mini catalog, January to June 2022. And look at how many awesome sayings it has. But this thank you is what we're using today. Now, I want this to have this little forked piece. So I'm going to use my punch. It's the Banner's Pick-a-Punch. I'm going to flip it over here, and I'm going to put the word you in the channel, press it all the way in, and then give it a punch. And when I pull it out, there's my little forked piece. Now, the reason I stamped it in the center is I wanted to have enough room to attach it behind my flower. So this flower piece is going to be attached right there. So I'm going to put a little bit of wet glue, and I'm going to lay my flower onto it like that. And then this is going to stick out off of my card. So I'm going to definitely put 2 dimensionals this time. I'm going to put one close to this edge, and I'm going to put one more right here, and it's going to kind of cover that little edge there, give it more support. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. Let's go ahead and pull off the small one, and we'll attach it first. I like the look of that layered flower, and I definitely wanted to add that thank you on there. So we are going to go ahead and set it up, make sure it doesn't cover the hole, and attach our flower onto the front, just like that. Looking good so far, guys? Now comes our ribbon, and we are using the Flowers for Every Season, which is also retiring. Oh, so many things are going away, but definitely check it out. We are going to double this up and tie our twine. So what I'm going to do is I am going to first insert, I'm going to use the folded end. I'm going to squeeze it together. I'm going to pinch this, and I'm going to put it through, if I can get it, through both of these holes. Let's see if I can kind of get it set up to grab. There we go. Through the back. And we're going to bring that to the front here. Okay. And I'm going to match those with the 2 ends right here. And I'm going to pull this nice and tight. and I'm going to push it down. And I'm going to tie a knot, well, a loose knot anyway. You'll see. I'm going to use both lengths. I want it double thick because I just think that twine looks so pretty when it's double thick. So I'm just going to, just like that, it's easily unfastened. And now what you see, I have the 2 loops here. So I'm going to make my bow, and then I'm going to wrap this one around and pull it through. And I'm going to get my bow ends. And I'm going to just yank on them till they're the size that I want them. Make sure I pull both of them because I do have the 2 loops. And when I'm happy with the size, I think I'm going to make this one just a tiny bit smaller. I'm going to pull on that, and then I'm going to make the knot a little bit tighter by pulling both of those loops. Okay, so there is my double loop. Now that I have it, I can separate them. See how pretty it looks with that double loop and the double tails? This one is a little bit longer than I want, and I need to trim that loop anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and snip that one off. I think this length is perfect. So there is our purse. You can put whatever you'd like to put inside, maybe a couple little chocolates, and you can use your bone folder, a pencil, something to slide in there once you've tied your little bow to pop that back out. And the finishing touch for this adorable little tote bag are these brush brass butterflies. Say that 3 times fast. Okay, so we're going to use these little guys, and we are going to use 2 of the large and 1 small. So let me grab my, take your pick tool. So let's grab 2 of these big guys. Let's see if I can get it to stick. There we go. We're going to put 1 over here in this corner of the tote bag, and I'm going to stick my finger in there and make sure that it really adheres by pressing down with some pressure behind it. Then we're going to add another large one over here by this flower. And same thing, I'm going to slide my finger in the side and hold on to it and press it real good in place. I love this double bow. So cute. All right, and then we're going to put a small one here on the thank you. So we're just going to lift that guy up, and it's going to be floating right above the thank and the U. Just like that. Pretty awesome. Let's put these guys back. What do you guys think of this project? I love it. I think it turned out super great, and I am happy that you were here to witness the making of it. I hope that you will choose to purchase this die set and make your own. This background stamp is amazing. You would never think that we used a background stamp, but you can see how versatile the background stamps are. Don't forget about the happy and heartfelt, and this fabulous die set that is on clearance, the all dressed up dies. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to make this project and you're not ready to make it quite yet, you can click the share button and share it to your Pinterest. That way you have it ready for the next time you are ready. You can also share it to a friend that you think would really love it. I would appreciate you recommending my channel. That would be so grateful. I would be so grateful. Thank you again for watching. Hit the subscribe button. If you're not a subscriber, give me a thumbs up and a comment. And I will see you here next time. Definitely check out my blog, Inky Hands Warm Hearts, where I do blog on a daily basis. There's always lots of inspiration on there and more close-up pictures of this project. So definitely check that out. Thank you for watching me today and staying with me till the end. I appreciate it. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!